Joining me now is CTV News political commentator Scott Reid. Scott, thanks as always for joining us.
Hi, Roger.
How do we read that phone call with Donald Trump yesterday, the fact that Carney reached out and that trade wasn't mentioned?
Well, I think it is significant, even though we really got nothing in terms of a debrief on it. And I think in many respects, perhaps that's what's significant. The Prime Minister said that there wouldn't be a call until they had something to talk about. And we know that there are fears that President Trump will now set his sights on CUSMA, on the Canada-U.S. Mexico Free Trade Agreement, that he might actually have aggressions toward that because he wants to level tariffs on a wider range of industries and sectors. So I have to wonder when they use language like productive, wide-ranging discussion, that's diplomatic speak for, I don't want to tell you anything. And so one has to wonder whether we brought something new to the table, that they're beginning to try to initiate some new set of discussions, some new set of proposals, perhaps, to try to move forward on trade rather than just let it languish. Or perhaps it is what it looked like, which was it was just a pretty routine call about mostly a bunch of international matters.
What things could we bring forward, do you think, for that might appease Trump?
I think we could talk about when and how we engage on the CUSMA discussion. I think we could probably talk about whether there are some room for us to relax retaliatory tariffs, which clearly are a burr under the president's saddle. And if so, what we might get from a process and other concessions in exchange for that. I think they could be talking about other irritants. We know that the president has, sort of spontaneously, spasmodically, he raises the issue of supply management of dairy and egg and poultry from time to time. So perhaps initiating some discussion around that, all of which, of course, has to be couched with, we couldn't just unilaterally disarm. There would have to be some movement on the part of the United States as well. And I wonder if we're trying to begin the process of feeling out what, if anything, the U.S. might be willing to do.
All right, and with the cabinet meeting today, what's the focus on that? We've got the fall session coming up.
I think you put your finger on it right there. I mean, obviously there'll be some ongoing debrief with respect to the state of trade, Trump, and all those relations. But I do think probably they've got their focus on the fall. And in particular, it's a handful of items. Now, it may sound mundane, but incredibly important to moving the government's agenda forward, which is, are we going to see a deputy minister shuffle? These are the nonpartisan, apolitical officials who are in charge of all the various departments and agencies of government, putting new leadership into those, putting his stamp personally as Prime Minister Carney on the government, saying these are going to be my priorities, these are going to be my picks to try to administer these programs, get this government moving forward. I also would be looking for things like housing. We talked about the Build Canada Homes initiative for some time now. Are we going to start to see more meat on the bones? There's preparing for Parliament. And then, of course, there is this issue of the Major Projects Office, which is what's so much of the discussion around massive infrastructure with billions of dollars of investment. How is that coming together? Will we see announcements on that in the fall? So I would think that that schedule of issues might be well on their agenda today.
Okay. Scott, thanks as always for your insight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Roger.
Scott Reid, CTV News, political commentator.